What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate podcast. This is our week 3 episode. Week 3 is now in the books. It is done. They had some great games. We got to talk about the Bills and Rams. We got to talk about Seahawks and Cowboys. We got to talk about the Falcons collapse. Again, back-to-back weeks. This is not, a rerun. Back-to-back weeks, the Falcons collapse and lose to the rising Nick Foles. The legend of Nick Foles is back. But first, before we talk about any of that, I want you to go over to our TikTok, go over to our Instagram at Dorm Debate Podcast, and go follow us on both of those platforms. We got some fantasy football content there. John picks his weekly fantasy picks, so if you have any fantasy questions or whatever, you can DM him on Instagram. But now that the promos are done, let's get to the first game that we want to touch on, Bills and Rams. The Bills squeaked this one out. 35-32, Bills win off Josh Allen. He had 311 yards, 4 TDs, and the game winner to Tyler Kroft, a 3-yard touchdown with 15 seconds left. But that could not have happened without a pass interference call on 4th down by Gabriel Davis. Jonathan, you picked the Rams last week, and they were so close. They were so close to winning. Talk about that pass interference call. Was it pass interference, or should the Rams be undefeated right now?
Just like the refs screwed up the Cowboys' first game of the season, this was the same thing. The game was going well. The game was going so well. Both teams were battling it out. Then the Rams essentially won, and the refs gave the Bills a break. And so that's kind of frustrating, given that it was such a good game and the refs just screwed it up. In those situations, a pass interference should have determined the outcome of the game. And so I think if it wasn't for that call, we would have been talking about how the Bills blew a 25-point lead. That's the real conversation. That's why people shouldn't have the Bills as their top 5 team or anything. They almost blew a 25-point lead, just like the Falcons, right? So, yes, we saw some good things in Josh Allen and the Bills' defense and their offense. But in the crunch time, we saw the true identity. That's the Bills I see. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they go from that going forward. And look, I think the Rams were making a lot of mistakes early. They didn't properly game plan for this. I guess they felt the Bills just like me. But I think they were caught by surprise about how good the Bills defense was and how their offense was flowing efficiently. I think the Rams should have won this. And if it wasn't for that call, we would be talking about how the Bills struggled in the second half of the game. So, hey, either way, both teams played well. Great game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a great game. I mean, this one felt good just because there was so much argument between who would win this game. But I think this is a big game because every year there's a team that comes out of the rubble and has like a great year. And the Bills did have a good year last year, but this year they're even better. I mean, Josh Allen's on another level, four touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown, and he put up 35 points, and his team gave up 32 points, which isn't like the Bills. But the Rams do have a good offense, and it is early in the season, so the Bills defense hasn't had time to, I guess, work with each other. But, I mean, Josh Allen was amazing. If you watch that final drive, I mean, when I was watching the game and it came down to the final drive with how the Rams were dominating that game, at least the second half, I didn't think the Bills were going to win. I thought it was over. But then Josh Allen, they had like 3rd and 25 at one point. Then they get 17 yards. Now it's 4th and 8. And then he like escapes from like 2 tackles. And, I mean, he just wasn't fazed. I mean, this guy is crazy. So to come out like that and have a statement game against the Rams, who went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, I mean, this is really solidifying them. And I definitely think they're going to win their division. They're going to beat out the Patriots. So I think it was a big game, and I don't think didn't even come down to the pass interference. Like, I mean, obviously that would have changed things, but first of all, it was pass interference because if the Gallup was pass interference, then that was pass interference. So
None of them were
call
pass
that
interference.
on fourth down to decide the game. I mean, that's back-to-back weeks that this is happening, and it's not back-to-back, but still, like,
I mean,
I feel like the refs should not be deciding these games.
Exactly.
yeah,
They
but
shouldn't be.
but he did extend the arm. Gallup did extend it. I mean, that's
Both of
the
them were.
rule.
Both of them were.
He had it like this, and he extended. You can't do that. That's literally the rule. And they showed on replay. Yes, he had it like this. He extended. They're like, just don't do that then. I mean, the refs aren't scared to make that call because it's the right call.
Both players always wrestle it out. The receiver tries to push off sometimes, right, to get open. It's both players. So because both players do that, you shouldn't call that at the end of the game.
I didn't see the defensive guy holding or anything.
Oh, they were wrestling with each other.
They were both like this, trying to yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then the defense.
They're allowed to within the 5 yards though, right, off the scrimmage. Like there's a little bit of contact allowed for between. Like, that's expected for 5. Not like you can do anything, but like within 5 yards, it looked like it might have been 5 yards. That, but okay, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, if both guys are holding each other, that's fine. But then the defensive guy let go and the offensive guy pushed off a little bit. I know it stinks because it is late, and I don't like how all these games are coming down to that either. But I mean, I agree with both the calls that have been made.
Mm-hmm. Caleb?
But yeah, it was impressive to me.
Any thoughts, Caleb?
I just thought it was a lot of fun knowing how intense we can cue the tape from last week.
Yeah, because of last week, I was like focused in on this game. I was like, oh my God, who is gonna come out with bragging rights?
To be honest, I was scared. Like the second quarter. I was like 23. I was like, oh dang, I screwed up. I should retire. I was like, oh dang.
You both put your lives on it.
I mean, the fact that it was close was like a little like you guys both kind of won in that. Like if it wasn't a blowout completely.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, comeback says a lot.
Jonathan did say, I think the Rams are going to destroy the Bills. This is the brick wall I've been talking about.
I said that. Hey, the Bills are better than I thought.
I was impressed with the Rams. This was a season that I thought they were going to be like dead last. But Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, they're working really well. Goff's playing well. If they went 3-0, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're legit. I think after this, even though the comeback fell short, I'm definitely keeping my eye on the Rams right now. We got to remember, as Jonathan said, Sean McVay went to the Super Bowl. He's an offensive mastermind. We got to keep an eye on him. I think we threw some disrespect on him last year because they went 9-7. They got a lot of great players, including Aaron Donald with that strip sack. That was just filthy, absolutely filthy. He's one of the best defensive players. So,
sure.
Yeah, I think if anything, the game increases my respect for both sides. I mean, the Bills, I think, are contenders this season. They've been quietly getting very good, which is a statement that hasn't been said in like decades about the Bills. And so I think they have a great quarterback with Josh Allen. I mean, I think I like some things, Jonathan, you were saying how they gave up that huge lead, so that's not good. But then with Josh Allen, they got a little lucky, I think. I mean, even if it was there, it's just like you can't guarantee on 4th and 9 if it wasn't there, if that pass. But what I'm saying is Allen, I think, was clutch to hit the game-winning touchdown, and also give a little credit to the Rams that they are a well-oiled machine with pretty well-rounded on both sides of the ball. Goff's playing well. And to come back from out of that deep of a hole made last week's watching that game last week a lot of fun, especially considering, I don't want to say the wager, but the promises you guys both made about who would win.
I was trying to get some money out of it, but
it was close. It could have gone either way. So it's just it's I don't think it's what we expected, but it was a fun game. It was a good game to watch. So we'll see how deep both these teams go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this says more about the Rams than the Bills, but we'll see going forward. Bills are 3-0 right now, and The only contender in that division for them is the Patriots. So I'm waiting for that Bills-Patriots matchup. Because even though the Bills are 3-0, they could, whenever they're facing the Patriots, they could be undefeated, and I may still pick the Patriots to win. I just can't wrap my head around the Patriots being bad. I can't.
Yeah.
Times are changing.
Bills fans, you got to go get your Josh's Jacks cereal and start eating it because it's going to be a good season.
Yeah.
Every game day, you got to do your part for your team.
Okay, I think we've held off long enough. It wouldn't be a dorm debate podcast without talking about the Cowboys. You know, we always got to talk
about how bad they are, you mean?
Oh, I wasn't going to say that. Seahawks, Cowboys, Sunday night football. Was it Sunday night? No, it wasn't. It was that late 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the evening.
Seahawks win 38-31. Russell Wilson was just too much for the Cowboys. I mean, if he does not get a single MVP vote this season, they are against him, and the media is rigged. He should be front runner right now for MVP. 315 yards, 5 TDs, no interceptions. This guy does not turn the ball over. Tyler Lockett, 100 yards, 3 TDs. DK Metcalf with a touchdown, and it should have been a touchdown. I had DK in my fantasy, and all he had to do was hold that ball, and for some reason he slowed down and just let the ball go loose on his one hand, and frickin' Diggs came in and punched it away. Lost me like frickin' 12 points in fantasy. Anyway, Jonathan, how do you feel about the Cowboys going 1-2 now in a sucky division that they can easily win going 500? Are you worried at all about winning the division? How do you feel about this game? Give us your takes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, it was a great game, but look, our defense has shown improvement, but how they're playing is not going to cut it. I'm not worried about our division. I'm not worried about winning our division. I'm worried about once we get to the Super Bowl, are we going to be able to stop Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs?
What?
Whoa,
you skipped the playoff. You skipped the whole playoffs.
You skipped winning the division. You skipped winning playoff games. Things that Dak can't do.
I think our offense is so good. It's still getting better every single game. It's
What?
so good. Our offense is
okay.
so good that we're going to be able to get to the Super Bowl.
No.
But once we get there, it's going to be
you right there because
defense wins championships.
No, this is
But
what
our offense
happens.
gets there.
I said this last week. This is what happens every week. The Seahawks get ahead. The team gets ahead of Dallas because their defense is bad, and Dak starts throwing passing yards, and everybody thinks that your offense is amazing because they're down by 15, 20 points, and now the defense is letting them throw it here, throw it there, get 10, 15 yards, go all the way down the field. Your offense isn't even good. I mean, Cedric Wilson you had to go to. Does anybody know who that is? I didn't know
exactly.
who he was, and I know every player in the league.
Exactly. We have good weapons. We have Cedric Wilson now. Thank you. We have CD Lamb. Thank you. We have Amari Cooper. Thank you. And we have Gallup. Thank you. We have great receiver weapons.
You don't have Zeke. Did you see Zeke? He looked like he was on drugs or something.
It was one bad game. Of course, they try to stop him. It was one bad game. Look, I think overall our offense is good. You have to pick one. Cover the secondary and give Zeke.
You need both. If you're going to win a Super Bowl, you need both.
I know, but you have to take away one as a defense. So they took away Zeke. Okay, our receivers showed up pretty good. I think our offense is great. They're getting better every single game, John. I think our defense, though, I'm worried about our defense. When we face the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I'm worried about that because it's going to be Chiefs versus Cowboys. So I'm thinking about that right now. So
you think that you're better? You think that you're better than the Packers right now?
The Packers' defense isn't too great, to be honest, either. It's going to be a shootout. Every game's going to be a shootout with many of us in the NFC.
No, it's just the first 3 weeks of the season. No defense has gotten time to work together yet. You'll see defenses start to get better. Dallas is
in that case
better too.
Yeah, in that case, then I think we can compete well with the Packers. But despite that, if you look at our division, it's really sad. It's really sad. I think Washington football team, you have to worry about them anymore because Chase Young, he's out for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, their defense isn't going to be that good. I already told y'all, Dwayne Haskins sucks, and it's not even funny. He sucks. The guy's not good. They need a draft replacement or something. It's kind of sad to watch him play, to be honest with you.
Trevor Lawrence?
So, Trevor Lawrence, baby, yeah. They should tank for Trevor Lawrence. If they tank for Trevor Lawrence, then I'll be scared as a Cowboys fan.
That's dangerous.
I'll be really scared.
What if the Eagles put in Jalen Hurts? Will you be scared?
Oh, of course I'll be scared. I want them to keep Carson Wentz. He's thrown 2 interceptions in every single – in each game he's thrown 2. No, I hate to say it. I'm being honest. Like, why has he thrown 6 interceptions in only 3 games of the season? That's a bad sign. And if you look at the offensive line –
Did you see Dak? Did you see Dak? He had 1 interception. Did you see the one he threw right at Trey Flowers, right at his chest, and it hits him and goes into Gallup's hands? That should have been an interception.
Oh, yeah.
Dak has multiple interceptions in every game.
Yeah, I mean, but no, 6 so far in the first 3 games and only 3 touchdowns. Look, people say the offensive line, but if you look at the analytics, I think ESPN did some analytics on that. Their offensive line is ranked around 5th or 6th in the league right now in the first 3 games. So it's not the offensive line.
No. That can't be right.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
If you look at Mike Greenberg, he's the one who said it. He actually did a segment on just the Eagles. I don't know if he's the Eagles fan.
One guy says it and it's right.
No, he said his team did analytics on it, and they're ranked 5th or 6th in the league. I forgot the number, but this is a serious situation, guys. This is a serious situation. I've never seen anything like it. 6 interceptions, and I think last year in total, Wentz threw 7 interceptions in total. He's already thrown 6 in the first 3 games. What's going on, Carson? Something's not right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he hasn't been playing well. It's out of character. He throws so few interceptions. Considering that last season we had, I think, no receiver over 500 yards or something like that. Some crazy statistic. And practice squad players, receivers you never heard of, and we still made the playoffs. And that was with him throwing barely any interceptions. So I agree. Something's been off. I hope he improves. The good news and kind of sad news is just how bad the NFC East is comparatively. Eagles 0-2-1, but the number ones are 1-2. So it's a 1 game. Eagles could win 1 and Dallas lose 1, and it's like even. So it's still season's still young, but it just shows how no one's out in the NFC East yet. Even statistically, even the Giants, it's like they're 0-3, but it's just
exactly
until we get more into the middle of the season, it's like how much are these problems going to keep you from making the playoffs? Like that's my first concern, and then kind of going each way. But yeah.
Right. When you tie with the Bengals, though, that's the issue, right? If the Browns destroy them,
you're right.
Joe Burrow, I don't know, Carson. I was expecting them to win.
Burrow's good though. I like Burrow, but
yeah, Burrow's good.
We should have won.
Sure.
I feel like, yeah. What?
No, go ahead.
Well, a tie to me feels worse than a loss, especially considering that we're the Eagles. Now, I know analytically, statistically, whatever the word is, it's obviously better to have a tie in your record than another loss. But it feels that way because we should have won that game. It's going back, we should have won against the Washington football team too. So if Carson can fix these problems, considering how weak the NFC East is, I think we can make it far as the Eagles and contend for that division winner, the championship spot. What were you saying, John?
I can't wait to see the Browns beat the Cowboys this weekend, actually.
Oh, it's not going to happen. And one thing about by the way, one thing about the Giants, I have seen Daniel Jones struggling a little without Barkley, just like Dak was struggling without Zeke that one time when he was missing him for 6 games or something.
Fair.
I'm not too worried about the Giants either, but no, John, the Cowboys will beat the Browns easily. This should be an easy one.
I'm just busting your chops.
So for the record, John, you think the Cowboys will beat the Browns?
Yeah.
Smart man. Next up, we have our main segment of the podcast. We have it back every single time. We like it. It's fun. Something or nothing. Now, this is when we pick something like Carson Wentz should be benched for Jalen Hurts or something like that.
Example. That's
That's
just
just
an
an
event
example.
that happens that we want to judge whether it's significant or a blip on the radar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I hate that this is just all Eagles like the past 5 minutes, but the legend of Nick Foles is alive and well. After a season where he was injured out for the season, he comes back. Let me tell you about this. He comes back in the fourth quarter, 8 minutes left. You're down 16 points. ESPN win probability said the Falcons would win 99.6%.
They forgot that it was the Falcons, because then it goes way down.
I think the 0.4 was because it was the Falcons.
They forgot it was Nick Foles.
It should be 99.999.
Yeah. Nick Foles enters the game, 188 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, completes the comeback. The Bears are now 3-0, and the Falcons are 0-3. Nick Foles taking over Mitch Trubisky's job. Caleb, is that something, or is it's nothing? What is it?
It's something. I'm just gonna go jump in there.
Okay.
I'm happy for Saint Nick, as we called him around Christmas time here in Philly. The Eagles, it was a tough scenario when we had to trade him away because Carson is our guy, but we didn't trade him away for nothing. He's a good player, and I think people slept on him. They forgot how good Nick Foles is. I mean, there is legitimate arguments that he has high highs and low lows as a franchise quarterback throughout a 16-game season. I get that. But, you look back to his days with Chip Kelly, how some of the offensive scoring records that he set with Chip Kelly when he was a quarterback. And obviously Super Bowl MVP, I looked at the statistics of that. Eagles were not supposed to win that game in the Super Bowl. And the Jacksonville, he did have a rough start, but we talked about this on one of the other podcasts, and I believe this is still true, that the Bears' overall style, as well as some of the coaching on that staff, have worked with Nick Foles in the past. So when he was at Jacksonville, some of that might have been growing pains on the new team, and then he got injured, like I think a few games into the season. So you didn't really get to see him, get to know the team. But on the Bears, it was a much better fit. And, one of the memes is like, you want to put in, what is it? You'd rather have Foles instead of Wentz if you could have him now for the Eagles, when he couldn't even beat out Mitch Trubisky, right? And up until last week, that was true. And it's weird to think about what decision making went into that when your starting quarterback in Mitch Trubisky was 2-0, and you pull him out of the game. Like how something else is going on there than just winning the games, And I've heard that some part of that with Foles was that because of coronavirus and other factors, he wasn't able to train with the team. All the previous things that goes up into leading, you had to do online. And I think any college student right now in the world will tell you, like, learning things online is not the same as if you were there in person.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, And I think that might have impacted why, you're in a new system, why it's probably if you're a coach, you want to choose the quarterback who's going to win you games and probably be the most consistent. And at the time, I think Trubisky was that choice. I think it's smart after Nick Foles' crazy comeback. I mean, it's against the Falcons, which at this point I feel so bad for their fans to have to deal with these repeated, they should win games, when they have these blowing leads. It's just such a disheartening thing. Mm-hmm. But it also shows how good Foles can be. And I think it's a kind of a no-brainer. The Bears have to stick with him as the starter until something else, and maybe this inspires Trubisky to get better. But I think with that coaching setup, with that style of offense as well, I think it's better for Nick Foles. And he's got a good team around him. So I'm curious to see how they do in the next few weeks to fully cement that this is definitely something. But I do believe it's something. It's something. Just waiting for that evidence, that sweet evidence.
Jonathan?
Yeah. So first of all, as someone that has Allen Robinson on their fantasy team,
oh yeah,
I think this is definitely a good sign. So I think this is something. And look, let me be straight up. The reason why they left Mitch Trubisky in is to protect him from career suicide. Let me give you an example. Remember the quarterback that Trevor Lawrence was going against in Clemson in the QB battle, Kelly Bryant, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of him in the past couple of years? Have you heard anything about him?
He went to Missouri, and then I don't know what happened.
Exactly. It's career suicide if you let somebody that has more experience or that's older start over, or like a rookie or somebody that has a couple years of experience, or somebody that started for a year, right? Not just a rookie, but somebody that started for a year. It's kind of career suicide to put Nick Foles in and have him as a backup. If Mitch Trubisky starts as a backup for the rest of the season and maybe next year, then it's going to be tough for him to survive in the league for the next 4 or 5 years. And so I think the coaches were protecting a young Mitch Trubisky and allowing him to start over Nick Foles, who's more experienced and who doesn't mind just being the backup and, being
gave him
a
the
great
benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I think they had to go with Nick Foles given how bad Trubisky was playing. They left him no choice. And so, look, I think this is definitely something. I think the Bears will be a little bit more dangerous with Nick Foles as their quarterback, and it will allow the offense to function a little bit better because Nick Foles is football smart. He knows what he's talking. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the game. He knows the offense, I think, pretty well. So, look, I think Allen Robinson, you'll start to see him go off. A lot of these receivers, you'll start to see him go off. So, I think it's something. I think it's a great sign.
Yeah, good for you with Robinson because Foles can be very aggressive offensive. I mean, you saw that in the Super Bowl. But one thing that's not really given a lot of credit for is he'll go for those deep passes that are risky and a bit like Russell Wilson, like some of that little fire to like just want to throw it deep and he'll get them a lot of times. So good for you because you've used him against me in fantasy. So
they target Allen Robinson a lot.
They do.
Even Trubisky is doing that. So
it's probably their best receiver, right? Like who else?
Yeah. I think he's their best one.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you guys that this is nothing. I love Nick Foles, great guy. I mean, I'm the one that pulled him out of the rubble and gave him a chance. If nobody's seen that episode, anybody watching, go back to watch our first episode ever on the YouTube when I say that he should come in for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, and everybody laughed at me except for Jared, I guess. But Jonathan laughed in my face.
Wait, really?
Foles goes on to win the Super Bowl. So I love Nick Foles.
Wait. Okay.
I think the laugh was
and then I'm like, and I told you his stats: 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and you're like, John, that was 2 years ago. Come on, John. I thought you were better than that.
Well,
I don't know if that was about Nick Foles or
no.
It was 100%.
It was 100%.
like Foles or Hundley, right?
Yeah,
I think
it was Foles. I know. I remember.
Foles,
100%.
Hundley, and Romo.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Romo
was still pretty recently retired. Yeah.
So
benefit of hindsight. Go ahead, John. What you're saying?
So I love Nick Foles, great guy, but this is nothing. I mean, Foles is good. He had one really good postseason run and a Super Bowl MVP, but I mean, it's the Falcons. I've never seen. There's no team worse in sports in the fourth quarter than the Atlanta Falcons are. So I mean, literally, it's like kindergarten. It's like me going up and playing against kindergartners. I'll look like a freaking MVP. I mean, it's so simple. They're so bad, and the offense can't do anything. They got like 1 or 2 first downs. So when you give any pro quarterback, like basically let them throw 30 times in 1 quarter, obviously your defense is going to get worn out. You have Allen Robinson. You have other guys. It's going to be easy. And congrats on 3-0, but you're gonna see. I'd be surprised if Foles didn't throw 2 interceptions next week against the Colts. I mean, the Colts were one team I said that their defense is gonna step up. Rhodes had 2 interceptions. When you have Buckner pressuring and you have Rhodes on Robinson, it's gonna be a tough game. And I'd be surprised if Foles didn't throw 2 interceptions and if the Bears actually came out with a win. I don't think they're going to even make the playoffs, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. Even though I love Foles, I just don't believe in the Chicago team.
I don't know about that. I think you're underestimating Foles. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are you saying nothing to both the Bears 3-0 and Nick Foles, or just Nick Foles and the Bears? Just like,
All of the above.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the division though, Packers and Bears
Yeah,
are
let's
both
take a look.
undefeated. And the Lions are 1-2. Vikings are 0-3. I think the Bears could at least make the wild card.
Yeah, I
If
agree.
they keep the record up.
No,
Fair. They're one of the few 3-0 teams left.
they're not going to make the playoffs.
It's sad. I love Tariq Cohen, and they just lost him to a torn ACL.
Oh,
okay,
he
okay.
did.
Yeah. I forgot about
love
that.
him. He
Good point.
puts on a show for the short people, man, and he is a speedster. And I feel
That's gonna
like,
hurt.
yeah, that
Yeah.
will be very tough.
I forgot about that.
on Ty Montgomery. He's gonna have to take all the rushing attempts. Which I don't
You mean
know.
You mean David Montgomery?
David Montgomery? Who's Ty Montgomery? I don't know.
He's on the Saints.
Oh, yeah, one of the Montgomerys. I think this is something. You know, I forgot about Nick Foles, I'll be honest. I forgot how good he was. I thought it was a one and done with the Eagles. I thought his powers were only to be used in Philly. So anywhere else, they were neutralized. But that was a good comeback. You got to give credit where credit is due, even though the Falcons suck and are awful. And Dan Quinn should be thankful that he's coach right now. Because if I was running the Falcons, he would have been gone after week 2.
We know one thing for sure is that nobody in the Falcons organization is watching our podcast. Otherwise, Quinn would have been fired already.
I mean, I would have fired him after the Super Bowl debacle, to be honest.
Yeah.
The watermelon onside. I was thinking so much about what you said, John. I think in the last week's podcast, you're like, you guarantee they won't win another playoff game ever just because of that. I don't think he's a bad coach, but when you have that reputation psychologically, I just felt that was on display with the Bears. It's just like seeing that and losing that game. I'm like, man, like, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Even for like the little in-season games, clearly.
You got to put the blame on the coach with that. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I had a stat last podcast that was like they had only they'd let up 5 14 points or more leads, and now
it's 6.
Just one game later, it's 6. Just one game. You know, like you go into last week blowing a huge lead to the Cowboys. What did you do? You didn't do anything. You literally did the same exact thing. So the Falcons, they're awful. They're, you know, in their own category. But Nick Foles, just for this team, is like going to be a revival. Like they're 3-0 right now. But with Nick Foles, I think like psychologically, they believe they can go up against any team. They believe they can go up against the Packers and win because you have that pedigree of a Super Bowl champion quarterback behind you instead of watching Mitch Trubisky, you know, have, you know, the coaches have him on a leash, and if he has, you know, does anything wrong, you know, they're going to pull him out. Or, you know, I don't know. I feel like having Nick Foles in the back of a 3-0 team is going to bring a lot more confidence than having a young Mitch Trubisky that's unproven.
Yeah, like Foles, when you're a player on that team and you have Foles, he's already shown, like, Trubisky, you wonder, can he win the big game? Foles already done it. So
you know he can.
Yeah, exactly.
So psychologically, you don't know this season, but it's like it shows some faith.
Yep. So I think this is something. I like the Bears right now. Maybe not as much as the Packers, but I do like the Bears for now.
So let me get this straight. You guys all think the Bears are going to make the playoffs, sitting at 3-0 right now?
I don't know.
I would say they would make the playoffs. Yeah, wild card, because there's the 2 extra spots.
Yeah, but
I mean, Cohen's not there. I mean, that does change things.
He wasn't that great. Like, he wasn't in every.
He was extra weapon. I mean, he was extra weapon that could use.
He was
extra check down. You know.
But if you had to choose right now, yes or no?
I would say yes.
I'd say yes. Just because looking at the schedule.
Wild card.
Wild card,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, like in some way they'll make it, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that says no. All right, we'll see. I'll bring
Barring
this.
an injury to like the quarterback or something.
Yeah.
I'll bring this up in
Okay.
December.
Somebody clip this. That'll probably be me. Moving on to another something or nothing. We have the Monday night game, Ravens collapse. I had believed the Ravens were a different team. I believed they took that next step. I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs look like they are going to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. Plain and simple. It looked easy for Pat Mahomes to throw 4 touchdowns, 385 yards. Too easy. It was too comfortable against a phenomenal Ravens defense. Lamar disappeared. 97 yards passing and 1 touchdown. As a Ravens player and a fan, I feel like that would be very demoralizing to know that the Chiefs are the team that you need to beat and you are this far away from them. Like, you're not even close. And in my opinion, the Ravens losing this game is something. Because having this early in the season will change them and they will get better, but they are light years away from the Chiefs. Light years. I mean, I don't even see the Ravens beating the Steelers in their division. I was so caught off guard by how bad Lamar Jackson was, by how bad that defense was. They were so confused, and I'll give credit to Andy Reid. He's an offensive genius. But they looked so confused, and yet again, Lamar is 0-3 against the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. I thought it was their year. It's not. It's not, sadly. It's not their year. You need to try again next year. Lamar, learn how to throw more than 20 yards. It's simple.
Whoa.
Throw the deep ball accurately. You're a quarterback. You are a quarterback, and you can't throw more than 20 yards.
So same thing with Dak, though. So like,
I
mean, they both have something to work on in the off season.
Yeah, but Dak has at least shown some improvement.
Yeah, that's
Lamar
true.
looks like he got worse. He looks like he got worse at throwing.
Well, I was wrong about last night also. I also chose the Ravens to beat the Chiefs, but I was wrong because the Chiefs are just way too good right now. But I did say in the beginning of the season that the Ravens would be the team most likely to go from first to worst because I think that same thing Jared's saying. I mean, this was his worst passing game of his career, 97 yards for Lamar. But I just think teams are learning how to play the Ravens. You put 8 men in the box, you put multiple guys on the end of the line so that Lamar can't run all the way to the sideline on either side. I mean, the Chiefs' game plan on defense was spectacular. They took the edge rusher and the coaches basically told them, both of you run out and don't let Lamar go laterally because he likes to escape the pocket laterally and get towards the sideline and run around. And Lamar, I didn't see him step up in the pocket once or try to go forward. He was like trying to go side and he's like, I can't go. And then they tackled him. So it was a great game plan, but I also think this is something. I think that the Ravens do have a super easy schedule, but I don't think they're going to be as good as last year. And like Jared's saying, this is the team that you're going to have to beat if you want to get to the Super Bowl. You're going to have to get through the Chiefs somehow. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are talking, I have heard people say like this is a rivalry or whatever, but it's not really a rivalry until each team has won a game. Like you can't, it's not a rivalry until you meet in the playoffs and you're like ending people's season. And 3-0 for the Chiefs. The Chiefs look at the Ravens and it's not even like that much of a competition anymore. So I think it's something.
Caleb?
Yeah, like you said, it's a team to beat. The Ravens, I'm looking at their schedule. It's not the most challenging for the Ravens. So the question that everyone's going to ask up until if they make the playoffs and when they make the playoffs is can they beat a premier team like the Chiefs? And they don't play the Chiefs for the rest of the season. So it's like one of the things hanging over Lamar. I was thinking about watching them lose because it became clear at the end of the fourth they're probably going to lose. At some point they returned a touchdown. I thought this was the moment that we're going to see the Ravens that we know dominate from the past few weeks. And it's like this is the moment they needed it. And they didn't really capitalize on that, even though they have other opportunities as well throughout the game. But once I saw that and they didn't capitalize on it the way they needed to consistently over the next quarters, and it became clear they were going to lose, I think that's going to hang over the head the same way we look at how Lamar – people question if they can win playoff games, with Lamar Jackson. Not that I agree with it. I think he's a great quarterback and he's obviously capable of doing it. But when this season is when they're, beating up these smaller teams that aren't as talented, but then they go up against a team like the Chiefs, who they might eventually face, where it really matters, and they can't do it. I think that's a question that's going to be hanging over the team for a while until they can prove it again. Prove that you're the team that as good as people say you are. And so I think it also says too to how good the Chiefs are playing. Watching that game was offensively delightful. Some of the plays they had with the linemen catching touchdowns, converting firsts, and there was one reverse, but it went tossed it backwards. It's just beautiful. The Ravens defense didn't know what to do, and that's a good defense. So it shows that Chiefs want to repeat. They want to go to the Super Bowl again, and they're capable of doing it. So if I'm other teams in the NFL, I think only a few teams right now after Game 3. Season's young, right? I'm thinking Packers, Seahawks, Chiefs as contenders. I mean, on this, they're all those three teams are playing on a level that is exciting football to watch, but it makes you wonder, can any other team surprise us, be like a dark horse and win later on? We don't know because the season's young, but the way those three teams and those three quarterbacks are playing, it's something to watch. But it also, I think this game shows that the Ravens might be a step below that until they can prove otherwise.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is something. I think this is something because the Chiefs exposed the Ravens. Now other coaches have extra film on how to defeat both the Ravens offense and defense. And, the Chiefs really made the Ravens offense or defense uncomfortable. If you saw in the beginning, they were just passing. They were getting in many of these empty formations, empty sets, and just forcing the secondary to cover. You could tell that the Ravens defense was uncomfortable. They weren't used to doing that. And so, Patrick Mahomes just kept putting it on them, throwing it to many different receivers, keeping them honest. And Marcus Peters essentially got beat last night on a 49-yard touchdown to McCole Hardman, I believe. So, look, I think the Ravens were exposed last night. So a good coach like Bill Belichick, for instance, because they're going to face the Patriots this year, a good coach will take
Next week.
Really?
This week.
Who do they face?
Oh, really?
Ravens
Chiefs and
or the
Patriots.
Chiefs?
Oh no.
Yeah. Chiefs.
Not Chiefs. I meant Ravens will face the Patriots this year.
Uh,
And a good coach like
Week
Belichick,
10.
a good coach like Belichick will look at that Chiefs film and say, all right, this is the way you beat Lamar. He can't really throw that well. Let's load the box. In terms of the defense, Cam, you're gonna have to throw a lot this game. Let's get in these spread formations, these empty sets, 4 receiver sets, 5 receiver sets, and force the secondary and linebackers to cover because they're uncomfortable doing that. They're good at stopping the run, but they're really uncomfortable staying in that secondary coverage. And so I think this is definitely something for the Ravens. The Chiefs are just unbelievable. Credit to Andy Reid. I mean, this team's looking really nice. So we'll see how things go from here. But I think the Ravens are going to struggle the rest of the season in terms of scoring as much points and their defense, stopping many points from being scored on them because they were exposed last night, both sides.
Yeah, I don't know if I was the only one to see this, but I feel like almost every play, the Ravens were bringing a fifth man on the rush, and they never got to him. I feel like I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
there's 5 guys coming, and then all of a sudden it's why does he have so much time? He just gets to do whatever he wants. I'm like,
exactly.
I don't know what if the offensive. I couldn't even comprehend. Like, is the offensive line just really good at blocking, or are these guys like getting to the line and then just giving up? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think they blitz. I don't know. There's a stat last night. I think they blitz more than any other team or something. In the NFL, I don't know.
True. The Ravens defense is known for blitzing a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Patrick Mahomes, that didn't phase him at all. I mean, and he can backpedal like 15 yards.
And his receivers are so fast they only need 5 seconds to get 50 yards down the field.
He ran it a few times too. He was like running a lot. I don't know what his yards overall, but I was like, he's mimicking Lamar here and he's winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they definitely put that debate to rest. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he proved to people that, hey, he's the true MVP. He's a real MVP. And so I think this is definitely something.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get to the 2 big games of the week coming up, and then wrap it up. First one on the list, Chiefs Patriots. Now the Chiefs we just talked about. We literally just said they're the perfect team and should go to the Super Bowl. If anybody, and I mean anybody, picks the Patriots to win, I swear I will come to your house and I'll just slap you.
What? You don't think it's gonna be close?
It's gonna be close.
Oh, it'll be close until the fourth quarter, and Pat Mahomes is throwing no-look touchdowns to Nicole Hardman. I mean, let's be real here, guys. The Chiefs are going undefeated, so I'm taking the Chiefs over the Patriots. I love Cam. My hands are tied. I just saw them unravel the Ravens. The Ravens have a better defense than the Patriots. They just undressed them. I mean, come on. It was not even close. Chiefs by a million.
Let me tell you one thing. The Chiefs will not go undefeated because they play the Bills in 2 weeks.
Oh,
no, okay. Okay, the Rams lost, but don't you go there. Don't you go there.
What? You don't think the Bills are better than the Chiefs?
Are you kidding me? Don't you do this.
Yeah, dude, that's no. I can't even believe that.
I'm not.
I can only make so many TikToks about this moment.
I'm not saying the Bills are better than the Chiefs, but the Bills will be better than the Chiefs on October. Wait, what is that?
No.
October 15th.
Stop.
You're
messing with.
To 11:20 p.m. The Bills will be a better team. That's all I'm saying. So when we get to that week, you'll remember.
Yeah. Oh.
So you
wait till that week.
I can't wait.
You think the Bills will beat the Chiefs legitimate? Like, you're not messing with us. You're saying this for real.
I'll wait until that week, just in case Josh Allen gets injured or something. I'll wait until our podcast.
Okay, we'll pocket this for now. So little clip.
Let's talk about the game right now. Patriots Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to destroy the Patriots. It's going to be kind of close, but I mean, there's no answer. The Patriots couldn't even contain Pat Mahomes last year when they had almost all their guys, and now they have like 6 guys that don't want to play because of COVID. There's no way that the Chiefs are going to lose this game. I can't. I know I went 0-2 in my picks last week, but I went 2-0 the week before, so I don't see any way Chiefs lose this game at home at Arrowhead with some fans against Cam Newton.
Caleb?
Okay. Oh, Caleb, yep.
I'll be quick. I think the Chiefs are going to win it, but this kind of scenario, I think Cam Newton's a runner. He runs the ball a lot, like Lamar, but I would argue he's probably proven to be a better passer, so that opens up a front that the Ravens weren't able to do. And I don't want to underestimate ever that good head coach they got over there, Bill Belichick. So if there's a team that could surprise the Chiefs, it could be them. But I'm still going with Chiefs. I'm just saying I want this for the record to say that if they do upset, if you can call it an upset, I could see it happening. But I'm going Chiefs this game.
Yeah, I believe Patrick Mahomes is 1-2 against the Patriots. Um, and look, I think Bill Belichick was throwing shade at Patrick Mahomes a couple weeks ago when he said Russell Wilson was the best quarterback in the league. I think he was basically saying he knows how to stop Patrick Mahomes. Russell Wilson, he
Ooh.
doesn't really know how to stop him that much. I think it's gonna be close for sure. Honestly, do we have to pick, or can we like opt
What
out
do you
of
mean?
picks?
Do we have to pick?
This is the
We gotta
segment.
pick. We gotta pick.
You gotta
God.
pick,
God.
dude. Pick the Patriots. Make it interesting.
Your pick
Stevie-
is someone's gonna put $1,000 on your pick.
Oh dang. Okay. Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, I think the Patriots, like all their games they've played with the Chiefs, it's been close. Um, they beat them the first two times they met. I think it was like in 2018 or something. I don't know. Then last year they met again. It was pretty close, but they scored like 23 points. The Chiefs did. So it's gonna be close. Dang, I don't know, man.
Usually in close games, New England wins.
Wait, is this at Patriots or at
Arrowhead.
Kansas City?
Yeah, Arrowhead.
Okay.
That doesn't matter. There's not enough fans for it to matter.
Yeah, there's no home
Okay.
field advantage anymore.
Yeah. Okay, let me just go ahead since I have Patrick Mahomes on my fantasy team. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs, but I agree with Caleb. If any team could beat the Chiefs, it could be Bill Belichick in the Patriots because of the good game planning. Belichick,
Yeah.
he's the one that's creating that defensive game plan. He knows how to stop the quarterbacks. He's gonna know how to stop Lamar Jackson in a few weeks. I think he knows how to stop Patrick Mahomes. So like,
Yeah.
we'll have to see. I don't think the Chiefs are gonna score that much points. So I think it's gonna be a close game. Not much points are
That'll
gonna be
be-
scored.
The points will be like how much of a scoring
Not many
game it'll
points are
be.
gonna be
That'll be
scored?
interesting.
Yeah, I don't think much points are gonna be scored.
What? I think the Chiefs are going to put up 35.
How much for
You
the
want me- oh, no.
Patriots?
I think it's going to be like 35-21 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so like a high scoring
scoring.
game still. It's just like, Belichick's been in the league for like what 20, 30 years at this point. Like what's surprising? You think he's scared of Mahomes? Like he is playing amazing.
Yeah, he's not scared.
But he's
We've
seen it
never
before. It's
seen
like
a specimen like him. We've never seen anybody like him who can throw the ball without looking. He can throw it overhand. He can throw it underhand. He can shovel pass it. There's nothing he can't do. It's
He's
scary.
gonna. It's only a matter of time before he pulls out the behind the back touchdown pass.
Yep. I
It's
agree.
gonna happen.
I'll believe if he does a flip and throws a touchdown. Like like a forward or back flip, throws it, clip it.
Yeah,
I'll believe.
yeah. I think at the end of the day, even though Patrick Mahomes can run, he's still a pocket passer, and no matter what, I think Bill Belichick knows how to stop those people. What makes Russell Wilson special and why he says he's the best quarterback? Russell Wilson can throw fairly well, but he's just too elusive. So both of those combined, Lamar Jackson's elusive too, but he can't throw. So like Russell Wilson has really both of those things. Not much quarterbacks have that. I don't think any
Yeah, he's
really
special.
have that. So
They're special quarterback. Like Mahomes, I'll believe he can go 16-0 if he does that. The gymnastics on the field. But he's a good player. But, same thing can be said about everything special about Mahomes could be applied to the coaching job of Belichick. If what he's accomplished. So we'll see.
All right, let's wrap up this week 3 episode with my team, Chargers, versus Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Now, Chargers are coming off an embarrassing loss to the Panthers, and the Bucs had an easy win against the Broncos. Nothing crazy there. Still undecided on Tyrod Taylor. We still don't know if he'll be starting, if he'll be healthy. Herbert didn't look fantastic in his last game. I'm a little worried. I've been saying this for a while. Like this offense, I envision it being like the Chiefs and just scoring a bunch of points, and none of it's coming to fruition. You have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Eckler, Hunter Henry. Just so many weapons. I can't imagine not putting up more than 28 points, and they cannot beat the Panthers. They can't beat who whoever the freaking team was, the Chiefs and Panthers. They couldn't beat the Panthers without Christian McCaffrey. Like, I don't know what to think right now. The Chargers are in a bad place, and it's going to be ugly to see. Tom Brady and the Bucks. I can't give a score. It's embarrassing. I can't. Just the Chargers are going to lose. So I got the Bucks.
With a negative. Yeah.
Unless Tyrod starts.
Oh.
I'm putting that out there. If Tyrod starts, Chargers win. If Herbert starts, no win.
Wow. All right. I'm going to go if Tyrod starts, Chargers lose. If Herbert starts, Chargers win. I think
this is why we debate
that the Buccaneers, they had a good game against the Panthers 2 games ago. They had a good game against Denver the other day, but Denver is literally one of the worst teams in the NFL. They had Jeff Driscoll throwing the football, and they let up 17 points or something. I don't know. Maybe it was less than that, but it was in the teens somewhere. And now they don't have Godwin. He pulled his hamstring or something. It didn't look very good. So he's out. And Evans had 2 catches for 2 yards and 2 touchdowns. So all he knows how to do is catch the ball at the 1-yard line. And I honestly think that Herbert, although he didn't look great, Keenan Allen looked really good.
He did.
I mean, Herbert was firing the ball all around. They threw it almost every play, it felt like. And I feel like they could go out and shock some people. I mean, Brady has always had trouble with this Chargers defense. When you think about it, back when he was on the Patriots, it was never a blowout. I mean, they always beat the Chargers. But a lot of that, I think, is the game plan of Belichick. And I think Brady always had trouble with the Chargers defense. I mean, the one time that they did blow them out in the playoffs, it was mostly a running game from Sony Michel. He had like 3 touchdowns or something. So I think the Chargers can shock the world this week, and I think they're going to win on a field goal at the end. And, yeah, I think Herbert's going to get his first win as a starter, and Brady's Bucks are not going to be too happy.
Wow. Caleb.
I'd say if Herbert's playing, I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna say the Chargers will win if he's playing. I think if Tyrod comes back, I don't want him to rush it because getting your lung punctured is not. You got to make sure that's right before you start.
Do you just
I don't even
Band-Aid on it and surgically cover it. I don't know how that works.
Make sure it's sealed. Like make sure he heals. I don't think they should rush him in for this game. But I like Herbert. I mean, I watched the Chiefs game for most part of it. And these, although the Chargers are 1-2, these are all 1-score games. Even with 2 of those games being with Herbert, it does say that they won against the Bengals with Tyrod. But I'd say if there's a team that can surprise, like you said, the Bucks, I'd go with them. I think I like Herbert. I think he's got to get, he's a rookie or young guy. You got to get the training wheels off, break the rust off. If he gets comfortable, I mean, he's shown he can show up against the Chiefs, and that they lost that game, but that was in part overtime. That was overtime. And so I think he shows that he can show up against really good quarterbacks like Mahomes. So it'd be interesting to see him go toe-to-toe with Brady, and I think he could win it with that Chargers defense.
Yeah, those are interesting takes. I think the game's going to be close, but it's going to be because of the defense, the Chargers defense. I don't think Justin Herbert is ready to shine like you guys are giving him the praise for. He doesn't know the offense that well yet. He's still learning. And honestly, I don't care if it's him or Tyrod Taylor. I don't think their offense can score much points this week against the Bucks. I think the Chargers defense, though, is going to really give Tom Brady trouble. I agree with that, John and Caleb. But I don't think they're going to be able to put up enough points. I think Tom Brady in the offense will score maybe 3 touchdowns. It's not going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Bucks are going to win this. And it's not because the Bucks defense is great or anything. It's just that Justin Herbert doesn't know the playbook that well, or even if Tyrod Taylor plays. I think he's overrated. Jared, sorry. I don't care if his lungs are hurt or whatever. He's just overrated. And Justin Herbert's the franchise quarterback for this team. Okay, he just doesn't know the playbook that well. He's not ready yet. He's not ready.
He's too young.
He's too young, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah, you have to give it a few games before you really know how good this kid can be.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bucs are going to win this.
Yeah,
I'm picking the Bucs for this.
One thing is I just saw Chris Harris Jr., Chargers cornerback, is out for about 3 or 4 weeks. He just went on the IR. So that is a big blow. They desperately need at cornerback. Yeah, I mean, all those games have been close, and I credit that to the defense. But with the loss of Chris Harris, I don't know how they're going to do. I'm low right now with that loss to the Panthers. I don't know how that happened. Christian McCaffrey was out. You let that Mike Davis freaking go off. I don't know. It just looked like such an easy win. And I was so confident, and I kept watching the game, and I was just shocked. But we'll see. That concludes our episode. Week 3 is down, and now week 4 comes around. We will be back next week, same time as always, Thursday at 10 a.m. I'll be posting the podcast. That is the schedule we got every week, 10 a.m. on Thursday. Set a reminder, and we will see you guys in the next podcast.